couple of people who can't get on. So hi, everybody. I'm Joanna Shipe. I am in charge of the mentor teams. And over in, I guess, over here, Irene. Irene, can you introduce yourself and just tell them what you do at the Dream Center? Or just your title?
Absolutely. Irene, and I am the men's program manager for the human trafficking and recovery program.
Right. So she's in charge of all the guys in human trafficking and recovery program. So, and then Caitlin, it'd be dangerous, I think. You want to talk?
I can talk. I'm at a stoplight. My name is Caitlin. I'm the women's trafficking recovery program manager.
Okay, so basically in a nutshell, Irene is in charge of the men, Caitlin's in charge of the women, but because the Phoenix Dream Center is a family model, everyone's in charge of everybody. So it's kind of like having a neighborhood where all the kids play in the cul-de-sac. And when you scream, go home for dinner, everybody has to go home, right? Okay, so it's definitely a great team effort. So let me tell you about the mentor teams real quickly. I know you've read all the package, you've read the information, all of that. Basically, the whole idea behind mentor teams is when you take someone who's trafficked at 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and they've been trafficked for 6, 7, 8 years, which the life expectancy of someone being trafficked is 7 years. When we rescue them into the Phoenix Dream Center, you have to keep in mind that their emotional and sometimes spiritual, sometimes maturity levels froze from the time they were trafficked. So a lot of the things that you learn from your grandma, your mom, your aunties, your coaches, your youth ministers, all those things you learned from all of those people, those are holes in their development. So that's why we have 8 different areas that the mentor team covers. Now, originally, each mentor team was 9 members, but after going through this for the last about 18 months, we kind of had a sit down, and Caitlin and Irene and I kind of decided we want to shrink the size of the mentor teams. And if it's already a mentor team in progress and they're doing great, that's awesome. We're not changing a thing. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? But moving forward, the mentor teams are going to be 3 to 4 people. Now, in the past, we've had several teams that had married couples on them, or it might be someone and their sister, or just relatives. We're going to try to make it so that not more than 2 people on each mentor team already have a history, because we're really going for diversity here. We're going for people from different walks of life, different areas of life, different, maturity levels even. We've got some people on mentor teams that are in their early 20s. We've got some in their 70s. So we love the diversity. So basically, each team will have a team leader, and all the team leader is in charge of is scheduling the meetings, and then after each meeting, sending me a report. Some of the reports are in great detail. Some of them are, no one killed each other. Okay, that was a win. Okay, so for the first 3 months on the mentor team, you meet as an entire team at the Phoenix Dream Center twice a month. Most of the meetings are held on the weekends. And you basically, what the team leader will do is they'll send out an email. They'll ask everybody, what's your flexibility in your schedule. They'll try to come up with something. It's like playing Tetris. I do it all the time. And then we pick a day and a time twice a month that they can meet at the Dream Center. That's what I'm saying. Most of the time it is the weekends. There's a couple of teams that meet in the evenings as well. After the first 3 months, then from that point thereafter, you meet as a team once a month. And this is where you can really have fun with it. You can go on an outing. You can all go to lunch. You can all go to dinner. We have one team that meets once a month at someone's home and they have dinner, and it's really cool. It all depends on your flexibility and your schedule, because the last thing we want from this program is to you be sucking the energy out of you and be like, oh my gosh, I have a mentor team meeting. We want it to be, yay, I get to meet with my mentee this week. Now, after the second, well, that's the first month. After the second month, then 1 to 2 individuals can meet at a time with the mentee. The reason why we try to wait after 2 months to have those individual and kind of semi-private meetings is because we want the resident to feel very comfortable with everyone. Now, some of the rules I have is, of course, you never want to put our residents in any kind of jeopardy to subvert their sobriety or any of their development. And so, you know, like if you go out as a group, just don't order a beer or wine at dinner if you're doing that kind of thing. If you're going to have them at your home, we always want to make sure there's at least 2 people from the mentor team there. And this is for your protection and their protection. I have yet to have anybody accuse anyone of anything, and we want to keep it that way. Okay. If you want to meet one-on-one at the Dream Center, you can do so, but you never go in the mentee's room. You never want to have that any question at all. And I know this all sounds really paranoid, but I'm giving you the worst of it in the beginning. Okay. I also want to let you know that sometimes our people at the Dream Center, they get burned out, they get tired, they have a change of mind, they have a change of heart, and they might leave our program. They might go back to their family. They might go back to the life. And it's very, very important that you as a mentor team member not take that personally. I spent the first 2 years volunteering at the Dream Center. I've been there over 6 years, having my heart broken every time someone left the Dream Center because I thought, what could we have done? And this is the deal. It's choices. It's choices. And so many times, if they leave, they come back. So we always want to show them that grace of, yes, we will welcome you back. We will take you back. But I just want to make sure that you as the mentor team, you understand that if they leave, this is not your fault. Okay. And I don't want your heart to be broken, although it will. Now, as far as getting your paperwork in and all of that, you know, I've already given you all the email, all the information on that. Basically, now we're just looking at, we need to form right now 4 more teams as quickly as possible. And I really want the teams to be 3 or 4 people. So if any of you guys are saying, yes, I definitely want to be on a mentor team, you might even say, you know what? I've got a little bit of extra time. I can do what Patricia the Great does. You see her, I don't even think she saw her label on there. So Patricia, she didn't, she sees it, Patricia the Great. Patricia is a mentor team leader for a young man. He is amazing. She actually has 3 men on her team to co-mentor them. I know, she loves it. Everybody kind of has a role that they play. So you're going to take on 1 to 2 roles. It could be education. It could be finance. It could be health. It could be career. And here's the deal. You don't have to be an expert in that area. If, you know, let's say your mentee, let's just call her Jennifer. Jennifer is ready. She's on 3rd pillar. She wants to get a job and she's got to figure out transportation. So the person in charge of transportation is not going to go out and buy her a car. They are going to sit down with her and say, let's look at the bus schedules and how we can work out you getting there in a safe way. And we never allow our people to come home on the bus at night. They will always take an Uber or a Lyft. But you guys know with inflation what those prices are right now. So there's a lot of things that go into being a mentor team. And once your team is formed, I meet just with that team. I give you the good, the bad, the ugly. I give you all of the dirt. We let you know about the person you're going to be mentoring. But right now, and if Caitlin weren't driving, she'd tell you, we have 4 young ladies that are ready right now for mentor teams that are amazing, amazing. And they just want someone to walk alongside them, to fill those holes in their life that are just there because they didn't have that coach. They didn't have that youth leader. They didn't have that great teacher. Now, the first thing we always want to focus on, I used to be a teacher, but the first thing we always want to focus on is helping them get their GED or high school diploma. So that is one of the very first conversations you'll have, because they can't graduate from the Phoenix Dream Center until they have their GED or high school diploma. So that's imperative that that is on the forefront. They're going to be on at least third pillar. There's 4 pillars in our entire system. Third pillar, they can get their phone back and they can start looking for a job. They can either go to school full time or they can work. And that's when we lose a lot of our people. They start going out, they're on social media. It's like giving a kid a piece of candy, and we have to do that. At some point you have to say, okay, let's do this. Step out. Let's see how much more growth you need. Let's see how much more healing you need. And at that point, that's why we need that mentor team to surround them. The mentor team is the stability in their life that they might not feel like they have, because the leadership at the Dream Center is amazing. Irene and Caitlin, they run the programs with love and grace, and they're definitely an iron fist and a velvet glove. They're good mamas. And although they're not moms, but they're good mamas because they tell them the truth. They have to use tough love sometimes. And so I don't want y'all to think we just turn them loose in third pillar and let them run amok. We really don't. There are so many different guidelines and all that. And once you're on a mentor team, you'll get the 4-pillar breakdown of what they're allowed to do in each pillar, what their privileges are. And the biggest thing I think you guys need to know is that this is not just a short-term volunteer project. You are actually their mentor until a year past their graduation. Sometimes they might not even be at the Dream Center anymore when you're still their mentor. You might be their mentor for the next 20 years because that's the kind of bonds that are formed. That's the kind of family atmosphere that we have. And some of them, and Caitlin's going to laugh here, sometimes you just want to kill them and tell God they died, because they are kids. They are kids at heart. And if any of you have ever raised a teenager, things can change very quickly. But it is a very, very rewarding journey that you're on. It is so rewarding. And we're going to be with you every step of the way. Now, my leadership style with the mentor teams is I let a lot of things happen organically. So the team leader might call me and say, hey, can we bring pizzas to the meeting? And I might say, you know what, let's not do it for the first 2 meetings. We don't want the meeting to look like a food fest. They might say, hey, our mentee really needs $30 for this. Well, instead of giving them the money and, getting all the team members to put in $5 each, why don't we teach the mentee how to strategize, how to come up with that money in a legal way, okay? So you're not there to do it for them. You are there to guide them. And just like a good mama or a good daddy, you don't do it for them. You guide them, you give them direction, you can give them advice, but then you let them do the work, because that's what we're teaching them to do. We're teaching them to do the work, because that's what growing up is all about. Okay, Caitlin. Oh, Caitlin, you're not driving anymore. Yay. Caitlin and Irene, do y'all want to ask anything about what the mentor team program has meant to you, or what any advice that you have? Because it has been a learning process the last year and a half. Let me tell you. There's Mara. She's a mentor as well. Hi, Mara.
Hi there. Sorry I'm late.
That's okay. Okay. So Caitlin, you go first.
Yeah, I think that one of the coolest parts about having mentor teams work with our girls on the floor is that sometimes I have 25 to 30 girls that I'm doing case management with, and I don't have all the time in the day to sit one-on-one with them and figure out where they're going to work, how they're going to get there, look at the bus routes together. I don't have that for 25 girls all in one day. And that's where the mentor teams come in and get to really sit down and take that time out of their day to work one-on-one with them and put in that time and effort with them in the areas that I'm not able to do. So that's really important to me, because you guys are just filling in those gaps where I'm not able to sometimes. So it's so amazing. I love the mentor teams.
Okay. Thank you, Caitlin. Irene. Irene has a rock star resident, and his mentor team is led by Patricia, and he's doing it. I mean, what a star.
Yeah. So Caitlin very well said. I mean, it definitely bridges a gap for us to kind of pivot and turn back to some of our individuals who are just newly coming into the program. You know, I feel like for me, I can start to prioritize a list and kind of hand it off to this next spiritual family. And let me tell you guys, it takes an army to raise these young adults up and to fight for them, and for have everybody to come around them and know that they're trusted, they're vetted, that their heart's in it just as much as mine, and that our residents are in good hands. It's just such a sense of relief, and you know that they can continue to walk alongside them and pour into them in different aspects that I can't. And I think that's such a big part of leadership, knowing that I can't do all the things, but when we have these teams that come around them, they can pull from their skill set and pour into them. And I love that handoff to you guys. And I know that you guys being on this call, I've been in your shoes before as a volunteer and as a huge supporter of the Dream Center. And it just means the world to me that you guys are considering this program, or you've already poured into residents who are here. So yeah, again, it really just, it helps support us.
Yeah, it does. Thank you, Irene. And when you guys get on campus and you get to meet Caitlin and Irene in person, you can just give them a big hug. Caitlin's this tall and Irene's like me. She's a little bit more vertically challenged, but they are like Dit and Dot. And they're just amazing, and they work so well together. Shauna Sexton, who would normally be on this call, is trying to give birth to a little boy. So you'll eventually meet her as well. But I did want to ask, Mara, can you unmute? Mara has actually been a one-on-one advocate for 2 different of our residents. And sometimes when we have someone at the Dream Center that really could benefit more from one-on-one, just because they need that extra attention, Mara is walking alongside them. So Mara, just tell me, what do you like? What do you want to advise them? What about the mentor team system do you want to talk about?
I think because I have had the experience of leading a team for that first mentee who didn't end up benefiting from a team and then wanted one-on-one support. I think, you know, the one-on-one mentoring, I just started with a new mentee, so we've met twice and it's going really well so far. And to me, it's a little easier to have a clear focus for our meetings. I think when there was a large team, sometimes we had an agenda, but we got off track. So that was something, as a large group team, I was trying to keep an agenda. And now I'm finding with a one-on-one, yeah, we can be really focused, but my mentee has very clear goals of what she wants and what she wants help with. And so that's a totally different situation than my last mentee. I'm just finding now, you know, my current resident was able to list all these areas that she needed help. And I thought, oh, shoot, it's just me. Like now I'm the spiritual person and the housing and the transportation. So, but I know I can reach out to others to get help with that. Both experiences have been really rewarding. Both formats have their pros and cons, I think, but just feeling it out. And Caitlin, I know you've been super supportive with both mentees so far, so I appreciate that. And
Yeah.
same to you, Joanna.
And thank you, Mara. But Mara missed the first part of the meeting. She was just coming home from work. Our team sizes are going to 3 to 4 people instead of 9.
I did read that, and yeah, I saw that change, and I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. And that's all Irene and Caitlin. They even gave me the mentor team packet and they told me everything I need to do to fix it. And, we all work together. And something I really want to put out there to you guys is if you do decide to be part of a mentor team and you see things that might need a little tweaking, I have no problem having you email me, call me, text me, whatever, because it's super important that that resident, that mentee is always our priority, always the priority. And if it's something that, if there's a conflict, if there's anything at all, you have to remember that Caitlin and Irene and I and Shauna, we will always put the needs of the mentee, of the resident, ahead of anything else, because that's what we're here for. So, we're really looking for spiritually mature people to walk alongside them. We definitely want men to be mentees, because in Patricia's group, having 3 men in that group mentoring a young man has been amazing. But it's important too that our women have at least 1 man in the group as well, because they need to see what a healthy professional relationship looks like with a male. And so if you know of some men who might be great at this or might really want to jump in, that's great. And we can kind of go from there. So the next thing I'll really need from you guys is just to let me know, are you go? Are you ready? We've got probably 14 people who are going to watch this recording and decide, is this a go? And, the beautiful thing is it's twice a month, and then it's once a month after that. And then you just meet whenever you need to be meeting with the mentee. But you're going to find that this is like so amazing. And it's not all, unicorns and puppy dogs, but you'll learn, they'll learn, you'll learn together, you'll come together and you'll figure it out. And that's why I kind of do a lot of hands off. I'll give you advice. I'll tell you what the rules are, but I'm not going to get in your business. And Patricia can tell you, Mara can tell you, I don't get into your team's business. I'm like, you guys need to let this become an organic family model relationship. So if you're comfortable with that, that's great. Let me know. And Irene or Caitlin, do y'all have anything else to add? Encouragement?
I'm really excited to try out the smaller groups, and I think that we're learning, we're going. So I am excited for the little tweaks that we're making. And I think that, we have a lot of good, healthy insight on how to make this work. So I am excited for the smaller groups.
Yeah, I am too. I'm excited to see how that works out. Do we have any questions at all? Angela, Cindy? Lori Jo's working right now and trying to listen at the same time. Ainsley, Alexandra, do y'all have any questions?
I have a question. So you mentioned, for instance, like Irene and Patricia, it's back to iPhone now. They are currently part of teams. Does that mean that they do not add an additional team? Do they stay focused on their one right now? Okay.
Yeah, Mara and Patricia.
Oh,
yes. They already have mentees. They just jumped on just to add in and see, what the changes are and stuff like that. So yeah, they're doing their thing out there. Oh, there goes.
Okay, and then with the 4 young ladies that you have now, like say, for instance, with this group, if we're all ready to go right now, do you choose based on personality or is it just a random select?
Nope, Ainsley, believe it or not, it just works. And
Okay.
I don't know if you're spiritual, I don't know if you're faith driven, but we pray over this program and it just works. It just works. And there's just, when you first meet with your mentee and you go into the learning center and you start talking, you're like, oh my word, this is amazing. You just, because it's someone who is literally a sponge. They just want to know whatever you know. Isn't that true, Caitlin? They're like a sponge. Yeah. And we vet them. We have an interview with them. We make sure they're serious about this, that when their mentor team is coming to the Dream Center, they're going to make sure their learning center is set up, ready to go. They meet you in the lobby. You know, everybody introduces. We do the first meeting on Zoom. That way there's a little bit of social distance. And let's say we were introducing a new mentee right now with this group. I would just say, okay, so let's start with Ainsley. Ainsley, am I saying that right, Ainsley?
You are, which is rare, so I appreciate
Okay.
it.
Well, it's very Southern. So Ainsley, you know, she's going to introduce herself. You know, where are you originally from? Do you have, you know, kids? Are you married? Do you have pets? What do you do? And you just kind of talk like you're just introducing yourself. And the mentee sits there and they just go, okay. So that the first time you meet in person, there's already a little bit of a relationship going on there.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? Any other questions? No, you guys are great. Okay, well, all right. Thank you so much for being on. Send me a
Wait, it
message.
looks like Cindy is trying to ask a
Cindy,
question, but she's muted.
you have to unmute, darling.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. So how soon does this, the first meeting start? Like
Today,
how soon? You say you're ready to go. How soon would that be?
next week.
Next week. Okay.
I'll do a Zoom meeting. I'll get with Caitlin, and if it's one of the girls, and she'll make sure they're on. Unfortunately, the Wi-Fi stinks at the Dream Center, so there may be some freezing and stuff like that, but it's like a 30-minute meeting. Everybody introduces themselves, they say hi, and then the team leader sends out an email to everybody, and we start working on when the next meeting will be. So if we were to meet like next week, like next Thursday night, then we would meet probably, if we did it on Zoom as a team, it would be the next week the mentee is there. And then by that time, it gives you 2 weeks as a team leader to figure out with Caitlin and Irene and myself, what's the best day and time with everybody's schedule to do your in-person meetings.
So you're saying that the team members or the mentors would meet first for those 2 weeks, and then we would meet.
Now, you will have a Zoom meeting just with the mentor.
Just the one meeting. Okay.
And then the next
Okay.
time the mentee will be on.
Good. Okay.
So
Okay.
we're looking at about 2 weeks because we're
Okay.
ready. I mean, they're
Okay.
ready, aren't they, Caitlin? They've all turned in their packets and they're like, I want a mentor team.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I have not ever been to the Dream Center. So I know. And I work right down the street. So so the tour is this Saturday, is that correct?
Is it the first Saturday? No.
That was the second Saturday?
The tours are 11 o'clock the first Saturday, but every Tuesday at noon.
Oh, see, yeah, I'm at work.
Okay.
So,
But you
yeah.
know what? We want everybody to go to orientation. Even if your team has already started, we want you to go to orientation.
Oh,
Which
okay.
is always, hang on, that's my grandchild calling me, who's 9 months old. So orientation will be February 11th. That's this Saturday, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And that is from 9 to 11 at the Dream Center. And right after that, Stephanie will give you a tour.
Okay. All
So
right.
I'm going to put in the chat
That
right
works out.
now. This is, let me see.
You okay?
Let me see, Lang S at phxdreamcenter.org. Okay, that is Stephanie's email. Just RSVP to her that you're coming so she knows to expect you. And that is this Saturday from 9 to 11.
Okay.
Okay, and if y'all didn't see that, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
But if you can't go this Saturday, it's okay. You can still be a mentor, but eventually we want you to go to orientation and you'll love it. She's a hoot. She's wonderful. She really is.
Okay.
Okay, I'm losing
Okay.
people. I think
I think that was my questions. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Well, I look forward to hearing from you. Angela, you're very quiet. Are you okay?
I'm great. I'm really excited to start this. I think it's going to be awesome.
Good. I'm excited too. Okay, you guys let me know as soon as possible. Are you in? Just say I'm in. If you want to be a team leader, I need 4 team leaders. So if God puts it on your heart and you dream about it tonight and you feel convicted, it's really not that hard. Patricia,
Last question,
will
I'm
tell you.
sorry. Are the team leaders, do they get the same connection with the mentee? Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm in and I'll be a team leader. if you need.
Okay, you're just the person that figures out in the beginning when's the best day to meet. And then after each meeting, if somebody else is there, like let's say you're traveling or something and someone else is there, you just make sure you or that person sends me a recap, and I'll send you a couple of sample recaps so you
Okay.
can see what they look like.
Yeah,
And
happy to do
Joanna, I don't know if it's helpful, but I'm happy if you wanted to give my contact information to anybody, and I could share my experience with being a team leader. I've only done it once so far, but I'm happy to share
Okay,
my experience.
Yeah.
okay.
And I'm in too and I can be a team leader.
Yay!
Yeah.
Yeah, I told you I wouldn't put any pressure on y'all, but I am. Okay, well, it's not really that complicated. I promise you. I am a very hands-off kind of leader because I want things to happen organically. And Lori Jo said that she's in as well. So that's awesome. She's going to be on a team. So y'all just let me know if you have any questions. Call me, text me, boxer me, pigeon carrier, show up at my front door, whatever you want to do. I'm
Will
here.
you be there
Definitely
on
in too.
Saturday?
Definitely in too. So you have me down.
Okay. All right, guys. Thanks so much. And you have a super blessed evening.